Sorry for the long delay. We had some technical difficulties there literally last second. So I am on with Brett Jones. And Brett, you are the director of Joe Jorgensen's Kentucky campaign. Do I have that right?
That's correct. You
Excellent. Okay, so like when I was chatting with Betsy and Kendall before the last show and they were angry about the director, that was you.
Yep. Everybody just points the blame right at me. If something goes wrong,
always at the boss.
It's Brett. It's Brett. It's Brett. I have some broad shoulders, though.
Yeah. So, but before we get to the Kentucky campaign and everything you're responsible for, how is the national campaign doing?
So,
what's going on with them this last week?
So the fun part about the national campaign is ballot access. That's the biggest thing going on right now.
Absolutely.
And the good news is we're actually on the ballot for sure in 45 states. So we have 5 states that we're still collecting signatures for, or it's still going through the process of checking the signatures. So the one state that we are a little worried about, it's Maine. We have enough signatures, but when they go through the verification process, you can't just get the bare minimum. So we are over the threshold, but the issue is we may not be enough over the threshold to be able to consider it a check mark. So that could go to the courts, but we'll see. I don't want to say anything right now because that's not my purview. But the good news is we're on the ballot in 45 states, and it's looking very likely that we will be on the ballot in all 50.
Have you ever personally collected ballot signatures, Brett?
Luckily, I have not, and I hope to never do that. So here in Kentucky, the presidential candidate is very important to ballot access for not only our presidential candidate, but for all of our down ballot candidates. So we need 2% of the popular vote in Kentucky to be able to maintain ballot access, which is actually equal to about 45,000 votes in the state. So that is our number one goal here at the Kentucky portion of the Joe 20 campaign, is just to get that 2% in the state. Our secondary goal is actually 10% because looking at the trends over the last few years, the votes have tripled every single election cycle. So we're really hoping to get the word out there for Joe and make some huge inroads.
Right. So like for people who don't know, like to get John Hicks on the ballot for the governor's race last year, or to get Brad Barron against Mitch McConnell this year, each of those 2 races would have taken 5,000 valid signatures. And when you're out there collecting petitions, and I'm bad at it. There's some people who are very good at it, but you run into people who will just write down gibberish, or sometimes they'll write down stuff that seems to be intentionally wrong, or sometimes they just make honest errors. Sometimes they'll do stuff like they'll put down their mailing address as opposed to their physical address. And for it to be a legal ballot, it has to be the mailing address, because it has to be the mailing address that matches the mailing address in the voter records, in the voter database. So that's why this validation process exists that Brett was talking about. And I know on the news you've heard people talk about, they're getting signatures as like Mickey Mouse. Well, yeah. If you hand somebody the thing and you're like, hey, would you sign this? And sometimes they'll seem really happy about it and they'll sign Mickey Mouse or some fictitious name that you would think comes off of a Monty Python skit or something like that. Then you get to validate and you're like, well, this is, and sometimes they're real. Sometimes you're like, okay, that one's a keeper.
We could finally pull one.
But it's a crazy amount of work. So like the 5,000 signatures for Brad, we're estimating it, if you view that in man hours and like a minimum wage type scenario, that's still like $17,500. You can view it as volunteer time, or you can view it as donations, or however you want to view it. But that's $17,500, and that would just be for one race.
Yes.
Just for one. just to get
And
Brad on the ballot.
And that is exactly why it is so important that all of the libertarians are able to get out and vote for Joe. We really, the way that we're going to grow our party is by the down ballot candidates continuing to get the word out there about the libertarian platform and what we run for, what we stand for, what we really believe in. And having the ballot access and not having to waste the time to get out there and get those signatures. And it helps us tremendously because we can redirect those funds to things that really, really matter. And just to get the word out there. So it is really important for us to maintain ballot access for the next 4 years. And I have a lot of debates with a lot of different people, especially the Democrats and the Republicans, because they say, oh, you have to start at the grassroots level. You can't start with a national candidate. You don't have enough money to run a presidential candidate. But I try to tell them all the time, it's not about just running a presidential candidate. It's about that. It is about the grassroots level. We have to have a presidential candidate to get ballot access to be able to get our voice out there. And a lot of people just don't understand that. And we really need to get the word out there that ballot access can really help the party grow.
You know, funny story. I was at it's not hilarious or anything. Let's not oversell it, but I was at
I thought I was going to a comedy show, okay?
I was at Jacob Clark's event on Saturday, and Jacob was talking to this lady that was, really enthusiastic about him, and she talked to me a little bit, and she seemed somewhat enthusiastic about me, and she was about to walk off, and she turns back and she goes, "But do you have anybody for me to vote for?" And I was like, for which race? She goes, I mean, instead of Trump or Biden, do you have anybody for me to vote? I'm like, yes, absolutely, we do. We have jo20.com, Joe Jorgensen, and she was then enthused about that, but that full stack is important, and it's really exciting. Like Tim Philback down in Bowling Green, people who can vote for Tim can vote for Tim, they can vote for me, they can vote for Brad Barron, and they can vote for Joe Jorgensen. I got lost on my fingers there. It's a mirror image thing, folks. Sorry. Anyway.
Hey, it worked. It worked. That's all that matters.
But Gary Johnson made that point back in 2012. He made it again in 2016, but in 2012, I don't think as many people had thought of it, is you need more than one person out there. And whether you start at the top or start at the bottom, if it's just one person and it's different from everything else, and I mean, we are intentionally different than everything else, but if it's only one person being different than everything else, they're a nut job. No matter what. Yes. If you go out there and you have a substantially different message and you're all alone, you are a maniac, and that's just the way it's going to be. If you want people to actually stop and start listening to the message, it has to come at them from 9 different people from 9 different angles, and that's why that full stack is important. Is people need to be looking at that, so that they understand this is a movement.
Yes.
This isn't just that Nutty Perry guy.
Well, we've done a lot of research on it, and it takes about seven times talking to people for it to really name value and message to really sink in and mean something to them. So we need to be able to continue to push the message and get the message properly. Messaging is huge, and that's something that I think the Libertarian Party has struggled with a little bit is the messaging, and we're growing, we're getting better at it. So as we continue to grow, the messaging will come, and we'll start to grow the party. So here's some interesting statistics. In 2008, in Kentucky, the Libertarian presidential candidate received 0.1% of the vote. It's big though,
Right.
In 2012, they received 0.3%.
Mm-hmm.
In 2016, wait, I'm sorry.
You were off by one. Yeah.
I'm off by a year. I'm sorry. In 2008, they received 0.3. In 2012, they received 0.9. In 2016, they received 2.8%. So it has
it's this
grown.
ballot access more than 2.
Exactly. And it has grown year over year, which means that we are getting the message out there. People are understanding the message. They're enjoying the message. They like the message. We appeal to so many different Americans because we're on both sides. We just want you to have all of your freedoms, all your liberties, and people really take to that message. So the more we can get everybody out there and maintain ballot access in as many states as possible, we're just going to continue to grow because the duopoly is not going to solve our issues.
Right. And getting out there, those are Kentucky numbers, Dave. I'm pretty sure. What you just gave me is Kentucky numbers, right?
Kentucky only.
But what you just said about getting the message out, it's a good reminder. Comment like Dave just did. Like, love, emote some way, some positive way, preferably, and share. We need to always be getting these messages out. If it resonates with you, get it out to somebody else that you think it might resonate with. I understand if I just do a horrible job one night and you're embarrassed, you don't have to share that one. But if it resonates with you, share it. And if it embarrasses you, let me know. I'll try to do a better job. We're all in this together, right?
That is very true. We are definitely all in this together. And that's a great segue to really what Jo wants. She doesn't, it's not just about winning for her. It's about the down ballot candidates. So everything that we do as the Jo Jorgensen campaign is not only going to impact her, it's also going to impact the down ballot candidates. We're going to have a sign waving coming up. So September 5th, we're going to have a statewide sign waving. And not only do we want Jo Jorgensen, only Jo Jorgensen, we also want our down ballot candidates to come out and start waving those signs with us. And there we go. There we go. That is a great looking sign right there.
Yeah.
That is a great looking sign.
Well, I've got about 300 of them left if anybody wants one.
We were talking before the show. I'd take one, but I don't think it would help out too much up here.
Right.
But
Marcia, if you're listening, and even if you're not, I'm going to get with you later either way. But so I've been told you're the logistician. So we're going to figure out how to weave these chains together so that we can get them out. We need to get Brad in the mix too, and try to get the local candidates in. Maybe lean on our affiliates a little, which is also a good reminder. Build the affiliates. This is about building an infrastructure to do this sort of thing. To get out my name, to get out Frank Harris's name, Brad Barron's name, Randall Daniels' name, Amanda Billings' name, Tim Philback's name, Jacob Clark's name, James Toller's name, Christy Kendrick's name.
There we go. I was just about to say Christy. You got me.
Joshua Gilpin's name. Brandon Wright, City Council. We need to start focusing on City Council. We got to start helping people's lives locally so that they can understand we're really doing something.
And getting these grassroots down ballot candidates' names out there and people hearing what they stand for is really going to push us forward because they're going to like the message. They're going to come. They just have to hear it.
And apologies to the somewhere between 6 to 12 candidates I forgot. But so what else is the Kentucky campaign doing besides the sign waving? Anything else?
We are also planning on phone banking and text banking. The national campaign has purchased the software for us to use for that. So
nice.
we're going to need volunteers to come out and help out with that. And when you come out and volunteer, again, we're not just going to push Joe. We're going to push everybody that Robert Perry just listed and missed. So we're going to push everybody from the top all the way down through the ballot.
Well, I would imagine after my compelling call for people to join last week, you must just be overfilled with people volunteering. Is that right? How many tens of thousands did you get?
Well, we have quite a few volunteers, but we definitely need more. This is an all hands on deck mission. So everybody who's willing to even give 5 minutes, if you just want to come out and wave a sign, that is all we need. We just need to help push the libertarian message, the libertarian cause. So if that's all you can do, that's fine. Come out and let's just wave a sign. If you can phone bank, if you can text bank, let's do that too. Just let us know. And you can sign up to volunteer at joe20.com/volunteer. And then the national campaign will actually send everybody to us. So we just want to go to that one central location, joe20.com/volunteer, and then we will contact you. Just let us know what you want to do, and we're ready. We are ready to go.
I'm going to grab that one and put it in the comments. Yeah, I got the right one. Sorry, I should have had that ready before.
No worries. Yeah.
Hi, Matthew. Matthew would love a sign, but he's not in Kentucky. How can we help remotely? Well, there's some of the things. Go ahead, Brett.
So there's a lot of different things that are going on. Not only first, if you're not in Kentucky, so we can always connect you with the local campaign. We know everybody who's running the campaigns in all the different states. So if you message me directly, we can go ahead and start that conversation. And if you want to work with us, we could still go ahead and use your help. You know, you can phone bank, text bank. You don't have to be here physically to be able to do that kind of stuff. So, and then like David just said, donate. You know, donating is great. You can go to joe20.com. There is a donate button on there, and you can go ahead and donate, and that's just going to help get the message out even more, because we're putting up advertisements. We are buying goods to put out, like signs, shirts, all that. And the more that we can donate, the more that we can give, the more that we can actually get the name out there, get Joe's name out there.
And just because Matthew knows me, there's a possibility he meant me, and you can donate to me too, man. Or just be active on my site, things like that. But yeah, ping me.
And there's and pushing people on Facebook. That is always a great way to help out a campaign. So many people use social media today. If we're just getting out there and mentioning names, everybody's going to pop up on the trending, and all these different ways of locating information. Just make posts. That is a great way.
Well, you are leaving out one thing that they had me really excited about last week. And it's because to some degree, I believe in building an army by using an army. Mm-hmm. And last week, they were talking about starting meetings, like weekly meetings between the Kentucky Joe Jorgensen campaign and candidates and affiliates. And I am a candidate, and I'm on an executive board of one of the affiliates, and I've not heard about that yet, man. Are you still doing that? Well, I mean, I heard about it last week, but you know what I mean?
I'm going to put out all the information this week with Kendall, and we're going to start that next Tuesday. I want to have a recurring meeting between the affiliates and the candidates in Kentucky every Tuesday. We don't have a time nailed down yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be around 7 p.m.
Okay.
So everybody, affiliates, candidates, everybody's welcome to join. let's get our distribution network going. That's one thing. Let's get a distribution network, and let's get all of the people who are able to volunteer some time to get out there and start planning events and executing events. One thing that I didn't mention was door knocking. Door knocking. We are the national campaign is sending us supplies, door hangers, business cards, rack cards. They're sending us a bunch of supplies to be able to get out and door knock and just get her name out there. So when we get those, we will have we will let all the candidates know, and then they can give us some supplies too. So when we go out, we're not just door knocking for Joe, we're door knocking for the candidates as well, the local candidates.
I'm excited about that. I've been working on my door hangers for the last couple of days, actually. I'm going to be working on it again tonight as soon as we get off the air. So
nice. That's awesome.
It's a big thing. Yeah.
So when you have some, send them over our way.
I'll get them to Marcia.
Perfect.
Cool. What else do we have
right now?
Marcia's at home baking cookies or something, going, "What are my ears burning?" Hey, Marcia. Somebody mentioned Marcia in the comments.
See, there you go. We mention her in the comments, and she'll mention somebody else, and it'll just be a whole daisy chain. That's how we get the word out.
There you go. I think we've covered the things we meant to. Are we missing anything, man?
There is one more thing I want to mention. So for donations, we are also giving away signs and shirts. So for a $10 donation, you get a sign. For a $15 donation, you'll get a shirt. And then for a $20 donation, you get a sign and a shirt. So the way to go ahead and make those donations are at joe20.com/give. Take a screenshot of that, send it to Marcia, our favorite person, and then she will go ahead and take care of the supplying you with the correct product.
Now, do people get like a receipt as well?
Yeah,
you're using Anadot, so they get a receipt. So if they miss their opportunity to grab the screenshot, can they just get Marcia the receipt? Will that work?
Yeah, that will definitely work.
Good. Cool. Yeah, I didn't throw in that screenshot part. Somebody asked me last week, and I went to the section of the video where we were commenting that on that, and just gave them that. Which is another thing. If I'm ever doing these videos and anybody you're watching and you see some clip you want and you're like, "Oh, that was a good 6 seconds. Shame about the rest of it." But let me know. I'll cut out those 6 seconds for you. You can have them.
And I know this is not campaign related, but Christian actually said hi. So hi, Christian. How's it going? I'm a little late on that one, but it's better late than never, I suppose. But
all right. Well, if we've covered everything, let's wrap it up. That way people aren't intimidated by the 3-hour video I'm prone to do sometimes.
Well, just one reminder, just if you have some time to volunteer, make sure you go to joe20.com/volunteer. Let's sign up. Let's get out there. Let's really get that libertarian message out. Yep. Oh, thank you. That's perfect.
There we go. Excellent.
So, yeah, thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much, Robert.
And you're sending somebody to talk with us again next week, right?
We will be. Yep. I don't have that name yet, but
okay.
I have a feeling it's going to be Kendall.
We'll rotate around a little.
We will.
Hi, Kendall. Bring Slim Shady.
Ooh, that would be fun. I will definitely watch then.
Yeah. All right. Well, so I'll see most of you tomorrow, or hopefully most of you will see me tomorrow, one of the two. And we'll be back next week for another update on the Joe Jorgensen, Kentucky campaign. If you have questions you want me to ask, just ping me with them, and I'll let the people know. That way they're not completely blindsided, unless I think it would be really funny to blindside them, and then I'll play it the other way. But anyway, have a good evening, everyone. Bye-bye.